Hello everyone, welcome back to another review here on the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at Radiator Springs Lightning McQueen, specifically his 2026 variant as a part of my Cars Retrospective series. But I take a look at cars I didn't really get to review in their own proper video. For example, Radiator Springs McQueen here, I did review him in like 2021, but it was in like 4-pack with a bunch of other cars, and I feel like he wasn't given his due diligence, so I was like, you know what, I have this variant, might as well do it now. So, of course, we will show a quick picture of when he appeared in the first Cars movie, because he appeared at the end after his race was done, and he wanted to surprise Sally with his paint job. And this was actually the paint job he had throughout a lot of promotional media after the first movie, like the Cars tunes, even the Cars video games. He had this pretty much had this paint job and the those types of media. Of course, this was before Cars 2 came out, so up till then, there was pretty much like this and the main racing paint job were McQueen's go-to designs. Now, as for his releases, he was first released in 2007 alongside other releases like Brand New Mattel, Hydraulic Limon, and all that jazz. And then he got reissued in 2008, 9, 10 with a couple of particulars. But he took a break from 2011 to 2012 because those were when Cars 2 diecast were only being released, and then came back in I believe 2015. Then got reissued in 2017, and then he was in the Welcome to Radio Springs line from in 2021 and in 2022. But he got his first mainland single, Armored Riders, in 2024. Granted, that version was in Thailand, so it did look very different. And then in 2026, he's back again for the 20th anniversary, now made from China. So, pretty cool that he's one of the most frequently released McQueens, and now we can take a look at him for what he is. So, he has this very nice expression, just a chill guy. And of course, we have the Rusty's logo, many Rusty's bumper women, Leanne formula. He does have those lightning bolts on either sides, which is actually not accurate to how he looks in the movie, because he actually does not have lightning bolts. That's something I found out. So pretty strange that they didn't remove it. I believe the Tyler one had that same error. Unfortunately, they didn't fix it, but you know, I kind of like it. Kind of retains some of McQueen's personality. But yeah, these lightning bolts all a little grainy. If I can like focus, I doesn't want to see the focus on the grainy bolts, but yeah, very grainy. We do have the dots, which are unfortunately gray, not in silver, but as to be expected. He does have a black mount, and he does, as well as the 95 circular 95 on his left headlight. So pretty cool. You have the light year tires with the really bad sandpaper effect, especially like if you look over there, it's like disgusting. Straight on, they look good, but from that side, it just looks really disgusting. But moving on from that, we do have the circular 95 again that we saw on the headlight, and the circular oval with the lightning bolt in the middle of it, because that is taken from Cruising McQueen, which he had earlier in the movie. So it's pretty cool that he kind of combined the cruising look with his racing paint job. I really like that. His contingency bonus are the piston cup, low torque pistons, revolting, mood springs, and no stall. Not the clearest, especially revolting and little torque pistons, but the other two actually look pretty solid. Piston cups a little, yeah, mood springs and also look okay though. It's pretty nice. We have the Rusty's logo on the back here with the gas cap. Light McQueen signature looks pretty good. As well as the circular 95 on the roof. Window bars. Nothing on the spoiler, which I do believe that's accurate. So at least I didn't mess that up. I put it on Rusty's logo. This logo is very fuzzy looking, very pixely. But on the back we have the silver spokes to keep the spoiler intact, and the Rusty's bumper ornament logo on there, and as well as the Circle 95 on his right taillight. Nothing on the left though, so pretty cool. This side is pretty much the same, and here is the base. So this is in China, so 2635 EAA, so 263rd day of 2025 at the EAA factory. He does have the punch holes underneath, so that made him would working tow can tow him, which I'm very glad that they're continuing to adhere to that standard. It kind of makes it a little more playable. And yeah, that about does it for the review of this Radiator Springs McQueen. It's a pretty solid variant. Probably not as good as the OG China variant, but I don't think anything is at that point. It is better than the Vietnam version, which I've had for a while. I think that version might be worse. Now I actually did do some customizations to this guy. Like I gave him the like border across the windshield to emulate Thailand, and now new China's way of doing it. And I also tried giving him the black innards of the mount, but some of it ended up on the teeth. So it was that. The Mercy's logo looks god awful on this one. I mean, here it's bigger and I mean it's not great, but like so better on this, where it's like streaky and faded. But the one thing this version got right, no lightning bolts, so pretty strange. And they also retain the silver dots on the hood. They tried to do that. That's a way up on the hood. I don't know why. I'm glad you're trying to kind of fix that issue. The eyes look so much better on New China. Like, oh my god, I don't know what happened with Vietnam. Those eyes look so pixely. But again, Vietnam does have the better wheels, so yeah. Oh god, look at those conspiracy sponsors. Like, I can't even read revolting. Here I can at least make out what it says, but this, it's like they turned out the bold is like 20, because I cannot read those things at all. I mean, I can at least like make out what some of them are. So the oval looks a little bit better on the new China version. Same thing with this. Black Mercy's logo, neither of them look great, but if I had to pick, it's this one. This one looks slightly better. The McQueen signature, which actually does look better on the Vietnam version. I do like the gold bulbs of the flat yellow. The 95s, it's a little bigger on the new China version compared to the Vietnam version. There's nothing on the spoilers, but here's some really bad paint on this one. Nice. You have the Rusty's bubble ointment and this Rusty's, which I think that's actually more accurate. I don't think he had this bubble ointment text below it. That's what the original China version and Thailand variant had that as. So in Vietnam didn't get it right. I did want to shout out Marcos Alfano for pointing that inaccuracy out. And they also retained the silver spoiler holders. New China coming for softer gray, which is a little disappointing. But they have the better taillights, so I don't know. There are pros and cons to both. These guys, this one has a much nicer red and less grainy eyes. Metallic finish is actually a lot nicer. But again, the contingency sponsors look way better here than here, though not might not look great or amazing. But Vietnam has the better wheels. They retain a lot more of the silver aspects. The signature looks amazing. And again, silver spokes, gray spokes. So anyway, I don't know. I think you just gotta pick and choose your poison. Would you rather have a Radiator Springs McQueen that's mostly accurate with a couple of little blemishes here and there? Or would you prefer like something like this, where it's like grainy and kind of a little sucky, but has those nicer silver aspects and wheels, and also doesn't have the lightning bolts on the other side? So it just depends. So here is a classic Disney Stone Radiator Springs McQueen. Yeah, the expression's not clear on this one, but again, it does have clearly decals. It's a lot more comparable to the OG China version. I did review this one as well, so link will be in the description below for this and the Vietnam version if you guys would like to check that out. Look at the sponsors, man. I really wish we could kind of go back to that, I like that we had to sacrifice decal clarity for like better lasting paint. Like here we have both. It does have the accurate gray tints versus the dark black, but this is those quality all over the place. I do believe it has a more accurate body style to McQueen in the movie, so that's good. But yeah, this one was fairly used before it was gifted to me, which I don't mind. Honestly, it does show a lot of love. It does. Really cool. It also doesn't have the bolts, so how about that? Here is regular colors on McQueen. This is the Italian version, but I mean, the new China one is practically the same. I do kind of wish his wheels were metallic, like maybe. I mean, they're a little darker, but like I do wish they were like a little bit like actually metallic, just to kind of match with the paint job. But that's just me. And here is the new China version of Sally to go along with this new China version of McQueen. I think they look pretty good. You kind of do some scene recreations, actually. Just on the other side. There you go. You kind of do that. So a lot of cool things you can do with this guy. But yeah, that about does it for the review and comparisons of 2026 Radiator Springs Lightning McQueen. You guys should definitely get him. He's honestly not too terrible. Like, I think if he had more silver and the bolt one there, I think he would have been like the best OS McQueen right out there right now. But for now, but as is, he is a 7.5 out of 10. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. So remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more upcoming content. See you all next time. Until then, this is Joe Quick Tire signing off.